Hi, David Wallimann here. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Today I'm going to answer 3 questions that you guys have asked throughout the week. And if you have questions, leave them below. I'll pick some of them and I'll answer them next Wednesday. Let's get started. Question number 1 is from Ruben Tura. Thanks for asking this, Ruben. How do you put specific emotions into music? Are there any general rules or guidelines, things to look for when trying to do so? That's a great question. I think that's awesome that you're asking that. That's the quest that musicians should have. Emotions, that's what it's all about, right? I think that's where really you can touch millions of people. However, my answer is not going to be very specific. Maybe you're expecting me to say something like try to target the ninth or play more with arpeggios, or it's none of that, unfortunately, because I think what makes a musical piece emotional is something not super tangible all the time. It's really hard to describe, but I think when the artists put their emotion into the song, oftentimes it can be felt by the listener, and you can't really put your finger on it. And sometimes it doesn't even have to do with an interval or a musical concept or a rhythm thing. It's something else. And that's often felt, for me at least, often felt with instruments such as guitar, where if you play a note, there are multiple ways to play that note. How much attack do you put on that note? How much vibrato do you put on it? What kind of pick do you use? What kind of amp? Like, all of those things really affect the sound and the outcome, the emotional outcome. Okay, let's get a little bit practical, even though it's still going to be a little conceptual. For me, the way that I develop my emotional person musically is not on the instrument, but rather in my mind, in my heart, in my internal being. So oftentimes I do that when there's not much distractions around, when I'm on a walk or when I'm lying down in bed before I go to sleep, and I start thinking of things. Not super mathematical things, not like things like how am I going to rearrange the room, or how am I going to come up with $1,000 this month to pay this bill, or not that kind of thing, but more memories. I'm a pretty nostalgic person, so if I think back of a time, close my eyes, I think back of that time, that's where my emotional being kind of enlightens a little bit, and I try to tie to that some sounds, a song. I just compose in my head according to those images that I have, those mental images. And again, nothing to do with guitar, but doing that exercise helps me get more in tune with my emotional being. And it's like telling musical stories that go with a memory or an emotion that you have tied to that memory. So it's a lot of like soul searching, mental searching, composing in your mind, and imagining something that fits that emotion. If you do that, when you're on the instrument and when you have to play, like whether it's over a backing track or with a band or composing is the easiest for me to bring out that emotional energy, because there's no real setting where you might get tempted to be a little bit performance-based. If I'm alone in my room and composing, there's no one around it. I love those times. Those are my favorite musical times. I can really dive in and create something tangible that comes from inside. But if you have to play with people, I think you really need to try to exteriorize yourself from the performance situation. Forget about the fact that you are holding a guitar, if it's a guitar you're holding. Forget about the fact that there are other people in the room. Forget about all that and try to become one with the music. Meaning whatever you play needs to come from a place that is from a listener's place. You're listening to what the backing track's doing, imagining something before you play it, trying to fit that emotion and reproduce that on your instrument. The thing, when you're playing with a backing track, that emotion that you put in is going to have to fit something else, something exterior, right? The backing track is going to establish the mood. Your job is to kind of fit that mood. But if you're just writing alone, then there's no constraint and you are master of that emotion. That's why I love composing so much. But I hope that helped kind of. Just listen with your internal ears and outside ears. Yeah, there's no easy route, because if I tell you, well, target the ninth, that's going to be very emotional. That's not necessarily true. It depends on the people, and then it depends on what kind of ninth, major ninth, minor ninth. Plus, I don't like tying exact emotions to intervals, because that's a personal thing. So, anyways, I hope that kind of helped. I'm not sure that it did, but that's my answer for you. Thanks for asking it. The second question is from Iden Pentecost. Can you do a video where you showcase all of your guitars? No. Question number, of course, I'm joking. Yeah, of course. Let me show you. All right, I'll start with the obvious. The main guitar these days for the last few years really has been this Ibanez premium guitar. This is a premium model. They don't make these exact models anymore, unfortunately, but I really like it. It's super versatile. It fits a lot of different genres, and it was really affordable. It feels like really high-end prestige Ibanez guitar, but it was $666 actually. So that's how I remember that. I actually have a review on this exact guitar on my channel somewhere that dates from, well, when I got it. So that's my main guitar. That's an Ibanez RG Premium. Put that one over there. Because it's my main guitar, I keep it right there. So that's at reach. And I did a video on being efficient when you're working. Hopefully you saw that one. But that's why it sticks over there, because that's my main guitar. Next, right here. This is another Ibanez. This is a Prestige guitar. This is a 7-string Prestige. Honestly, I don't know the exact model, but it's an S model, Prestige S, but I don't exactly know the model. But I got this because it was a deal that I could not pass last Black Friday, and it was a little bit under $1,000, and it's a guitar that usually goes for more than that. I've seen it go around $1,600, but I had to get it. It's very comfortable. I haven't used to its full potential yet, but I will at some point. Next we have my Telecaster guitar. This is a Fender Telecaster American Standard. I got this in 2011 for the 60th years, the anniversary of this Fender guitar. I haven't used it much lately, but I still hold on to it because I like it. I think what I need to do is to change the string gauge to something a little thicker than I usually use. I usually use 942s, but I think this will be better with 1040-ish. Anyways, that's my Telecaster. I changed the pickups in there. These are DiMarzio. I'm endorsed by DiMarzio pickups, and I used the DiMarzio Area T's in there, which are noiseless pickups. They're really good. This is a guitar that has a lot of history. It's been modded quite a bit, and it's not working as well as it should. There's some electronic stuff, but this is my Parker Nite Fly. I got this a long time ago. This was my second guitar that I ever had. My third guitar, sorry, that I ever had. But I'm turning 40 in a few months, and I got this when I think I was 20. So this is a 20-year guitar, and it was very comfortable. I tracked a lot of songs on this. My first album, Deep Inside the Mind, was entirely done with this guitar. I've done a bunch of Glass Hammer gigs with this, a few DVDs with them too. Prog rock band, Glass Hammer. A couple albums with them, all with this guitar. I can't part with it. It's got too much history. But that's my Parker Nite Fly. Then we have another 7-string. This is a Chapman 7-string. Rob sent me this guitar a while back after we agreed on an endorsement with Chapman guitars, and I haven't used it much. I made a couple videos, recorded a couple songs. It's a good guitar. As far as 7 strings go, once I got the Ibanez, that's what I had to play. It's much more comfortable because it's much lighter and the neck is thinner. This neck is pretty thin for a 7 guitar. Don't get me wrong. And this is not a bad guitar, but I got it not new. This was actually Rob's guitar, Rob's 7-string guitar. There's a bunch of dents in the back. I didn't make them. Rob. So this is actually Rob's guitar, his own guitar, but he sent it to me a few years back. Rob and I go back a long time. Haven't talked to him in a while, but he's always been really nice to me, kind of mentored me on my channel for a little while when I started out, and great guy. I mean, Rob, if you're watching this, love you, man. Okay, next here is a bass. This is a Chapman bass. So this I got about a year ago. It's a Chapman bass because I wanted a bass to track some demos, and I thought, well, I've got a Chapman endorsement and they make basses, and it's a good bass. I've never used it much because at the time I was going to retrack all the basses on the re-release of Deep Inside the Mind. But then I thought, well, I'm going to use the original bass tracks, and then I changed my mind, and it's going to be killer. I will tell you about it. But anyways, it's nice to have a bass around to track demos, or if I have a bass player friend come over, he can use this. And then we have 3 acoustic guitars here. We've got a Luna guitar. I really like this. I haven't played acoustic for a while. It's probably completely out of tune. It's not. So this Luna guitar, I won it at a contest organized by TrueFire. TrueFire, who does educational stuff. I've got a course on there too. But I won it at a contest that they organized, and that's what got me into the artist roster at TrueFire. But I won this and a couple other things. But I really like this guitar. It's smaller than other acoustic guitars that I know, but I really like it. It's got a warm sound. It's not super bright, which is kind of something I like. Then we have another acoustic here. This is a Faith guitar. I'm a Faith endorsee. Faith guitars, they're great guitars from the UK, pretty high-end stuff. This is probably out of tune, and it's not gotten much use, as you can tell by the dust on the pegs, but it's not too bad. Anyways, it's a great guitar, electroacoustic, just like the Luna. You can plug it in, and that's my Faith guitar. I'm not sure which model it is, but I like it. I actually picked that guitar. I had the choice as an endorsee to pick my instrument, but that's what I got, and I really like it. And finally, we have a nylon string guitar. This is a Godin guitar, Godin La Patrie, which is a Canadian company. You know Godin. And this was actually given to me by a really good friend. It's not in tune. I really need to tune it. I always loved nylon strings. This is a great guitar. I recorded a couple pieces. You can find them on my channel if you look around. This was given to me by my good friend Matt Pav. And Matt's an awesome guy. And Matt, if you're watching, you're awesome. I miss you. Right, those are my guitars. The third and last question today is from Chris Soros. Hi David, I'm trying to improve my ear. Specifically, I'm trying to hear and pick out modes in various pop rock tunes. Basically trying to find songs that really capture the voicing of that given mode. Could you recommend a song or two that make good example of a given mode? Yeah, that's a great way to do it. And the answer, well, there are multiple songs, a lot of different ones. But here are a couple. The Lydian mode, you might not know that song, but that's what helped me. For the Lydian mode, that would be Flying in a Blue Dream, Joe Satriani. That opening theme is very Lydian. You can really hear the characteristic note to that Lydian mode. That's the augmented fourth, and it is based on that. Flying in a Blue Dream, that would be my idea for that song. If you don't know it, there are a lot of others too. The Dorian actually is interesting because that's probably when I really got into modes, I started with the Dorian and I heard it everywhere. A good example is The Wall. You know that last section? It's very modal. Pink Floyd, The Wall, at the very end, there's that long solo, that classic solo. And the bass is kind of doing the same thing, so it attracts everything else. Ba ba da ba ba. Ba ba da ba ba ba, and you're only hearing ba ba ba, that D ba 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 ba, and the organ on top is playing all those chords ba 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 in the back, and that really brings the characteristic color of the Dorian mode. So The Wall, Dorian, especially at the end, you can really hear it. Oh man, there's so many, but what I would recommend you do is, if there's a song or a section of a song that you just sing to yourself over and over, you can't get it out of your mind, grab your guitar, try to find out what mode it is, and then you will have that one forever. And then you don't have to make those connections. Like if I think Mixolydian or Aeolian or whatever, I don't tie it to a song. I just have it. You hear it right away. But it comes much faster if you can, instead of finding songs that match a mode, well, start with the songs that are sticking to your mind. Whatever it is, something that you can sing right away and figure out what mode it is. And that soon enough, you'll have a very good idea of all those different things. That's what I had for you today. Thank you for asking this question. Thank you everyone who asked your questions. Thanks for watching these videos. Stay tuned. I've got another one coming sometime soon. Subscribe if you haven't already. Watch more videos. There are a lot on my channel and you guys are awesome. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Until then, salut.